I'm Brittney Saunders and welcome to Big Business, the place where business is far from boring. And today I'm recording on Gadigal land. Now, I somehow managed to build an empire from the garage underneath my house, and I'm here to share it all with you. From the wins, the mistakes, the challenging times, and the funny moments in between. So whether you're in business yourself, perhaps you're not in the game at all, maybe you're just looking for some inspo, or you simply just want to hear the tea when it comes to running a business, this is the podcast for you. Today, I'm super excited to be welcoming Jess Sepel, the founder of JS Health Vitamins. And I'm sure a lot of you out there have probably got some in your kitchen cupboard at home or in your bathroom vanity, or you've probably heard of JS Health because they are absolutely everywhere. As a child and teenager, Jess had an innate love for vitamins and supplements, which grew stronger into adulthood. From day one of the JS Health blog and continuing today, Jess has always been very in touch with her community and truly listens to the health goals and the requests they share. Jess, welcome to Big Business.
Thanks so much for having me, Britt.
I'm glad to have you here. I remember back in my day, because before I was doing business, I was like an influencer myself. And I remember back in my influencer prime, that's when I saw JS Health just everywhere. It was just, I remember seeing it and seeing everyone that I knew kind of talking about JS Health. And I think you've been around for, is it 6.5 years now?
The vitamins, but I've been doing JS Health for nearly 12, 13 years with, because before JS Health Vitamins, I was really just running the brand, and supporting my followers with health books and an app and a program. So that existed for about 7 or 8 years before the vitamins. So vitamins is about 6.5. My team just love you so much, and they're so excited that I'm even on this podcast because
so glad.
I'm also such a fan, but they really are huge fans.
Oh, well, shout out to your team if they're listening once this episode comes out. I think it's really quite iconic that I have this podcast now, and obviously started as an influencer back in the day, and then kind of connecting with the brand owners of all of these brands that we've known and loved for ages, and now kind of getting to be on the other side of it, opposed to, being an influencer that works with brands. I now get to, speak to the founders. And back in my influencer days when I was collaborating with a lot of brands and doing all the brand trips and everything, I found myself being really interested in the brand side of it. And maybe that was the universe saying to me, one day you need to get into business yourself. So it's super cool to be able to speak, to the other side and not being just an influencer working with brands kind of thing.
No, it's so good. You must learn so much from these conversations, and you should be so proud of everything you've created. We all are very inspired by your work.
Thank you, and same to you.
And the honesty, I love the honesty factor.
You've got to be honest. On the topic of influencer marketing, I feel like JS Health over the years has worked with so many people, especially back in those early influencer prime days in Australia. How much would you say the success of the brand has come from influencer marketing? And I'd also be interested to know two things, I guess. How you have managed to work with influencers over the years, and I guess how you yourself have managed to build a brand.
Yes, it's a real tough one, and vitamins are a huge investment. To take something, to ingest something is a real commitment and investment from your customers. And I have a really complicated and conflicted relationship with influencers. I myself as an influencer, and I, had a following way before JS Health Vitamins existed. And of course, as a brand, we, especially in the early days, just getting the brand name out there was so cool. I remember when Sky Wheatley would post about us, and we would just see our website views go crazy. And here in the US, we also continue to work with influencers. But I'm going to be honest, as a founder, I am much more passionate about my customers. My customers are, for me, my biggest influencers. They are the ones who cheerlead the brand behind the scenes. You don't see it, but it's more powerful than we realize. Word of mouth in our industry, in the vitamin industry specifically, is actually the most powerful marketing that could ever exist. Because if someone is taking a probiotic and they genuinely see a huge change in their gut health, or they take a hormone health product, our hormone and PMS, and they genuinely have relief from hormone and PMS symptoms, when they tell their best friends and their sisters and their family members, that is much more powerful than than often, you know, an influencer just posting and being paid to post about it. But what we do now, and I really mean it when I say all of the influencers we've ever worked with, we really care that they genuinely take the brand, and we can tell. We actually don't work with them until they've trialed the product for a period of time. We are so strict about that. And now we've taken it a step further where we actually only work with influencers as partners. So a long-term relationship where we work with them for a year. We know they committed to our products. We know that they take them. We know that they genuinely would organically send them to their friends and family. We just know that they are true fans of the brand, and we sort of don't work with influencers now unless they're true partners of the brand.
Yeah, I think it's really important, especially now in 2025. Speaking, I love that we say the olden days, like it wasn't that long ago. But, you know, back in those influencer days, it was so different for businesses because they could, you know, get your Sky Wheatleys or your Shani Grimmons or whoever, you know, pay them a few $1,000s to do a post. And the post could be as simple as holding up the vitamins and smiling. And, you know, you would see that website traffic just go nuts. And I can speak from experience myself because I worked with so many brands, you know, back in the day, and those brands would keep coming back and keep wanting to work with me. So they were seeing results. But I think as the years have gone by since those older days, you know, the space has changed so much, and obviously the influencer space has become really saturated, and also I think consumers and customers and followers have become so much more switched on that influencer marketing doesn't hold that same power that it used to back then, because people are like, actually, you know what, I'm sick of this person posting sponsored posts all the time. So that's really interesting.
It's so true. It doesn't have the same, because people do see through it. That is why we're so obsessed as a team of working with ambassadors or partners, because you can see that it's more than just a deal for them, that they genuinely have our magnesium next to their bed. Or to be honest, it's the only part of the business I'm not involved in. Again, I'm just super transparent, is I do everything else literally as a founder, you know what that's like, except I'm not so involved in the influencer side, but I am involved in the capacity of them being ambassadors and understanding of the product here in the US. I do consultations with every influencer that or celebrity that we work with, where I literally am helping their health and well-being, not just with our supplements, but also with their lifestyle and nutrition. So, but yeah, it's interesting. The times have changed, and I think you really have to go with that. And that's why it's very important that there's authenticity at all times with anyone that you work with.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, and I'm right there with you on appreciating customers and word of mouth. It's the oldest method in the book, is the good old word of mouth.
Oh my
But
gosh.
it's powerful, and something that I think maybe a lot of brands don't realize. And I think even now you're seeing people, you know, getting sick of seeing influencers always being gifted things. And, you know, I think brands really need to start to pivot and focus more on their customers. And even for us at Fate, we've got this Facebook community group that we started last year, and we've been doing a lot of activations with our customers and communities, and we've just started a Fate PR list, but it's for our customers. So we want to be gifting and working with people in our community, even if they've got no followers, because we want them to feel like they're part of the brand. And I think there's so much power in that, as opposed to, you know, just only gifting influencers.
Oh, totally. I mean, back in the day, we also had our Facebook group, J's Health Girls, and I can tell you that had more engagement than any influencer ever would, and it probably still does today. And me resharing my customer messages, I'll show you later one of my folders, because I'm not going to show off, but I'll show you why. And you'll see how obsessed I am with my customers from the folder that I show you. Like, it's just, I think, let's say, as founders, I think it's the year of the customer. I really do.
I 100% agree, and I'm right there with you. I even see in our community group, someone will post I love when people post their outfit photos in our group. You know, they'll do a mirror selfie, be like, out to dinner tonight, I'm wearing this and that, and then just everyone will jump on there and hype that girl up and be like, you look amazing. And then I see comments like, you've just influenced me, I'm getting that top, you know. So your customers are your influencers, and I agree. It is the year of the customer.
I think it's the year of the customer. That gave me chills, because I just think, as you said before, there's just nothing more powerful than that. You just inspired me with some things that I feel like we should do and continue to do in our brand. And I think it also is what lights me up. I don't know how you feel as a founder. When I actually started I started doing consultations with my customers. What I started doing with my EA, Brookie, is that we started actually adding consultations back into my day-to-day because it actually gives me so much like fire and passion. You know, when you're just stuck in the business grind, it's just it really can just like zap that passion energy, which is different energy. And so I started adding consultations back in with my customers just to reignite my passion. And it's just so powerful what your relationship with your customer does for your continued belief in your brand.
Yes.
And just that continued fire energy that you really need to build a company. You know, you need that continued passion-filled energy to build what we're building.
I agree. And I think it's really hard, like you said, when you are the owner and you're so invested in the business, you can get so caught up in the day-to-day grind of the business, and you're dealing with HR, and then freight is going missing, and you're dealing with all these things, but it's really hard to refocus yourself on the things that really matter, like your community. And I find myself, you know, doing the same thing where I'm like, oh my God, I'm stressed about this, that, and the other, and everything's going wrong. But you need to just kind of take a step back and go, hang on a second, like look at how amazing all these other things are. And you get so like tunnel vision in your business when you should stop and take a look at the big picture.
And I think that's the energy that probably leads to burnout, which we can talk about burnout as founders is on the rise more than ever. When you bring in some of those passion-filled projects, or for me, speaking to my customers, consultations, you talking to your customers, don't you think it's the energy that doesn't burn you out? Like it's the energy that
it's like, oh wait, this is actually nice, you know?
Yeah.
I'm all for the customer involvement. Like we're doing so much this year. I'll have to share some of our ideas with you so that you can take inspiration from us.
I want them.
Even we've just said, because we've just got this community of tens of thousands of women, and so it's Valentine's Day coming up. So we've organised, because Valentine's Day is on the Friday. So on the Saturday, the 15th of Feb, in every city where we have our retail stores, we're just hosting a community like Galentine's meetup at local parks.
That's so
and it's just
nice.
It's such a low cost, you know, thing for us. It's just everyone bring a blanket, bring a basket of food. We've just got 2 staff members from each state
region.
Going, to just have
so
a meetup. And it's just
cool.
like 2 hours, come along, bring your family, bring your friends, just like getting the community together, like with
that
no
inspires
objective.
me so much. That inspires me. That makes me like, I'm jealous. I don't get jealous, but I'm jealous of that. Because actually that's how JS Health began. We used to meet up in parks and to share JS Health recipes. And literally that's what started JS Health in so many ways, and so nice. Like going back to basics, it doesn't need to be these big fancy events sometimes.
Exactly.
My team and I talk about just community, which is our customers.
Meeting up for a picnic. We want to do let's just start organising some Saturday morning walks and get a coffee, and it's just like anyone that wants to come along. And it is marketing for your business, because you can create some cute content at the picnic, but it's very low cost. You know, it's not some extra. Are you writing that down? I love it. Back to what you mentioned earlier about how you wanted to create these vitamins and around JS Health. You mentioned that you wanted it to be small and boutique-y. What did that look like? Obviously, you were in the health and wellness space when you started, so that's obviously your inspiration, because that's everything that you were doing. What was, I guess, the idea behind you stepping into vitamins? And obviously, like you said, you wanted it to be small because those were the brands that you were loving and endorsing back then. And I guess it has started small but obviously become quite big. And I'm guessing that wasn't part of your plan for it to become as big as it is today.
No, really hand on heart, definitely not. But I'm extremely grateful, obviously, because it's just like now a bigger platform. You know, running a business, you know, the stakes are high. It's hard. The pressure is intense. I've loved building the company, and I still do, and I love my team so much. But vitamins, it goes so way back for me. Like, I was literally 13, 14 years old. Instead of collecting makeup in my bathroom, I literally collected vitamins. I have photos. My sisters will tell you. It is so weird and random. I can't even quite explain. I mean, even like my great-grandmother, we're from South Africa, but she used to travel from Africa to Switzerland to go get vitamins, because at the time she couldn't get them. It's like in my blood. When I was a Priceline girl, which is so cool because obviously we're in Priceline stores. And
what a full circle for you.
Yeah, I worked there in high school, and I would find myself like, I do not know why, but in the vitamin aisles the entire time. I feel like the manager used to get so annoyed at me. I was just like looking at the bottles. It feels like I can only describe it as a gravitational pull. Like it's what I was meant to do. And I've seen the way good quality vitamins can transform my clients' lives. And the truth is, I had spent nearly a decade in the health industry before creating J's Health Vitamins. I had spent 10 years knowing which ingredients work and which ones do not. And in a humble way, I just was constantly disappointed by formulations on the market. I was looking for a much more very specific, medicinal, therapeutic formulation that would target my clients' very specific pain points. Because at the time, the vitamin industry was quite old school. There was your vitamin C, your vitamin D, turmeric, calcium. Do you know what I mean? You would go down, that's what you would see. You wouldn't really see a formulation for deep bloating or for hair or hair growth or for sleep or for calm or for stress or for hormone and PMS. Like it truly didn't exist. And I do think that J's Health Vitamins disrupted the industry with actually putting the pain point or the solution on the label. It didn't exist at the time. Plus, I say this in a humble way, I was constantly disappointed by forms of ingredients often used in formulations and doses. I just felt really passionate that I could create targeted vitamin formulations that would make a true difference to my customers' pain points and health issues. And I also wanted them to be very clear on the label, to be honest. There was so much confusion and people would sort of not take vitamins because they felt so confused.
Yeah, I feel like it can be a really confusing. Like, what do I take?
Yeah.
I'm probably a great example. Like, I'm the kind of person you'd probably hate me where I've like said, okay, I'm going to take vitamins, and then you start taking them and then you just forget. And
Stop.
like you need
I
to
appreciate
stick
that so
to
much. No, and I really get that because I am actually, what people don't know about me is I have a simple approach when it comes to taking vitamins. I'm not someone who says, take it all, take our entire range.
Yeah.
Our biggest customer support question is, can I take your entire range together? I'm like, no. This is the whole point. And this is why I wanted to be a niche brand is what we actually have our J's Health Vitamins Everyday Health range. There are some base formulations that people just seem to thrive with taking on a long-term basis. And that is a probiotic, magnesium, fish oil, and sometimes turmeric, depending on your age and your symptoms. Honestly, people just feel better when they take a magnesium powder or tablet at night, and people just feel better when they take a probiotic with their breakfast. They feel better when they take those omega-3 fatty acids, and the research behind fish oil is just undeniable. Right? So that's that. But then I like people to look at vitamins like a medicine. When you have a headache, you take Panadol. If you will, so maybe now tell me what you're struggling with, and I can ask you questions. You might not be struggling with anything, but as a founder, I can imagine you might be struggling with your adrenals, your stress, potentially deep sleep.
Yeah, I would say mine's probably, sleep and just like laying awake at night and then, your brain's racing and you're thinking of everything you're going to do the next day. I would say that's my number one thing.
Yes. So then I would, and this is why I thank gosh we have my favorite team in the company is our customer support team, because they also there's naturopaths and nutritionists in the team. Guiding a customer is my favorite thing. So I would say to you immediately, I definitely want to give you magnesium because it's all about calming down your nervous system. I can imagine you're working crazy long hours. I know you're never switching off. I can already tell in your energy. And so I would want to give you some magnesium at night just to calm down the nervous system. And then I might also give you our deep sleep formulation. So I specifically created that formulation to calm the mind to be able to have a deep sleep. So I would give you magnesium, our deep sleep, and then I would also just give you some nutritional lifestyle practices through the afternoon around 4 p.m. to really start taking care of your cortisol levels, and then a strict 8 p.m. social media switch off.
I read that online. We were doing some Googling, and I've got it written down here that I read online that you delete Instagram every night for 12 hours for complete peace.
I do. Obviously, I stick to it. I can tell you 98, 99%. But I am so strict about it, I can't even explain to you. A nighttime ritual can change someone's life, especially in this day and age. If you can work your butt off all day, and you and I are both probably at our desks from 9 till 7 most days, and if you can create a beautiful, nourishing, restorative evening routine, for me it's a J's Health dinner, a nutritious dinner, then I have an Epsom salt bath, I delete my Instagram, I delete any sort of social media on my phone. It's so easy to download the next day, and it's all about Jess time, Jess and Dean time, watching my favorite TV show, reading a book, We go for night walks, my husband and I. But what it does is what people are really afraid to do that, especially as founders, because you're like, I should keep going, I should keep working. I like scroll. But it has made me a better founder and leader because I wake up in the morning, clear as day. I definitely do not check my social media until I'm at my desk. Like that first 30 minutes of your day sets the tone for your day. Just everyone needs to remember that. That first 30 minutes, if you're checking your phone, that's okay, but just know
it's setting you up with the negativity of the world.
It's comparison, inundation of information. It's not even reality. It's like, don't we want to start our days on a calm, peaceful note so we can be leaders that can show up for our team in a strong, clear way? And I can tell you, sometimes I break it, very, very rarely because I'm so and I'm not as good as a founder that day. I'm all over the shop and my brain is scattered. If you can just give yourself, and I'm talking to the founders out there, or anyone who is working a big job, if you can just grant yourself the first 30 minutes of your day with peace, don't check, my social media would have been deleted from the night before, and give yourself 20 minutes of walking in the sun, go for a workout, coffee. I do a breathing ritual from Dr. Joe Dispenza and Dr. Huberman. And if you can just give yourself 30 minutes, it starts your day on the best note. And then you just remember, you can get to your social media and to your phone at 9 a.m. at your desk.
It's going to be there, yeah.
It's going to be there. It's not going anywhere.
We're so obsessed with checking it when it's going to be the same, no matter what time we look. We open our TikTok, scroll a few videos, and you get out of the app and then you open the app again. Like
totally.
you just exited the app and then you just automatically open it again, even though it's going to be exactly the same. It's crazy.
100%. Yeah.
Look, there's one thing
I went on a tangent.
No, I love it. If there's one thing that I'm taking away from this is you're feeling inspired to do more community events, and I'm inspired that I need to look after myself more because
you do, Britt, of course.
I'm the worst. And with the nighttime scrolling as well, you think in your mind, I've worked so hard all day, so I'm going to treat myself to just doom scrolling at night, when we should be treating ourselves by like winding down and being peaceful rather than
peaceful, especially for your physical and mental health. Like I'm talking about both. I'm talking physiologically, the nervous system has been heightened all day. Your cortisol levels are pumping through the day. You want cortisol to go down at 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m. And then melatonin, our sleep hormone, it literally takes over from cortisol at around 7, 8, 9 p.m. when the sun goes down. What's happening in this day and age is actually not happening. The melatonin is not taking over, and that is why sleep issues are so on the rise. I believe cortisol is a big factor. So how do we bring down our physiological nerve systems? And remember that our neurotransmitters, serotonin and dopamine, are going to be heavily affected by this inundation on our phones. And how do we protect? I mean, serotonin, dopamine, these are feel-good hormones. We have to protect them.
There you go. I'm starting to think, is this a business episode, or is this like a personal health consultation for me? I'm loving it.
That's what happens.
I'm absolutely loving it.
You're inspiring me with business, and I can hopefully help. I think maybe one day I can just create a podcast to help founders with their health, because I think so deeply because I think we go through so much as founders, and actually is so funny that it can be, even as someone who's a health fanatic, like taking care of your health for some reason goes to the side. And I actually recently for the first time in a decade, took a month off work, which was the hardest thing in the world. So just to any founders out there, it's hard to take care of your health as a founder, so we have to put in serious, strict boundaries.
It is, because, the business and everyone else comes first, and we put ourselves as the afterthought, because we're fine. Like we'll be fine no matter
team
what.
stuff. Like there's the business, but then you actually have to manage the side of the business. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Obviously, you have expanded globally, which is very inspiring, and you're obviously living over in LA now. I guess my final question for you is, where to next with JS Health?
I hope that I can start a family of my own one of these days, because I'm 35. I really have to consider, Dean and I have just put everything into our business, moving countries. We expanded into retail in Australia, which I'm so proud with Chemist Warehouse and Price. And I feel our Australian company, our brand there is, in a really strong, stable place. And now we're growing in the US, so that energy is building. And so we're in that. So I hope to just continue to build this company with integrity and passion. But I also hope I can be a mum and a founder in the next couple of years. But JS Health, it really is just to be that trusted vitamin brand. It's so funny. It's squiggled on my first ever whiteboard in my first office. It's just said, like in ugly writing, to be the most trusted vitamin brand. And it's still on my whiteboards today. It's a simple motto. I really believe J's Health Vitamins can be and should be the next and most trusted vitamin brand if people knew what goes on behind the scenes with those formulations, the quality control, the management of the raw materials.
I don't know anything about like the vitamin industry, but I could imagine that it's like shady and there's so much misinformation out there.
Australia is very blessed with their manufacturing, but I'm really passionate about the US audience having access to good quality vitamins. But yeah, I guess I'm really working on being a good founder and leader. I say as a founder, when you have that energy, which is all about the vision. You sort of know where your company can go. I'm sure, Britt, you feel this, like the energy of that is so creative, so inspired, so passionate. You know where your company can go. We're visionaries in that way, but that's different energy to sometimes running a company and running the team staff and the management of team.
It's two completely different things. I always say, like, it's to be an entrepreneur and a creative leader is completely different to then managing a team and, doing one-on-ones and making sure everyone's fine and we're just trying to do it all at once.
That's exactly. So what I find, I love that you just said that, because I agree. Like, I feel like they're completely different energies, and I'm very typical founder energy. My team will tell you, like, way too passionate, way too obsessive, way too relentless,
way too involved in
way too intense. It's too. I admit to all of that, and I'm so on that road of being the better founder and leader that I can be, but while also respecting that my strengths and passions are in product development, in my customers, and respecting that. And
I always say that, like, it's impossible for people to expect themselves, or it's impossible for people just to expect us to be like the best manager and boss and also the best innovator. Like, they're just two different things, but us as founders, we do it all.
I think it's so nice to anyone out there who's starting a business, wanting to start a business. I think it's so nice that we're having this conversation where we can just remind people you don't have to be it all. You don't have to be good at it all.
No.
You don't have to.
It's humanly impossible to be good at it all.
You don't have to be good at every part of running a business. You really want to hire people that are better than you. And also, I think sometimes just acknowledging your strengths, and it's okay that you might have weaknesses in certain domains as a founder. I feel like we have this pressure on us as founders to be really good at it all, because we are the founders, we're the face, we have the vision of the brand. And I think sometimes I'm transparent with my staff that I'm learning too.
I couldn't agree more. At the end of every Big Business episode, we always end with a tip of the week. It could be anything. It doesn't have to be business. It could be personal. It could be a recommendation. Do you have a tip of the week for us?
Well, as I landed back in Los Angeles a couple of days ago, I did create, it sounds so corny, but I did create my vision board for the year. And it's amazing what that does. You can literally just do it on Canva or is it called Milanote?
Milanote, I love Milanote. I love it. No one talks about it enough. We're always talking about it on the pod.
And what I did was you can just see it's on the background of my phone.
Oh, yeah,
and I've
nice.
also put it in my bathroom, and I've put it, I've kind of if you came into my apartment, you would laugh, because I have like sticky notes and vision boards all over my apartment and manifestations like goals, personal. It's crazy. If anyone comes over, I just like hide everything because it looks like
don't mind all the
really
sticky
intense.
notes everywhere.
But yeah, I would recommend doing a vision board only because, firstly, all my vision boards genuinely come to fruition, but it's also such a great way to set your intentions for the year. I think it's a beautiful way to remind yourself, what are my goals, what are my personal and professional goals, and it's such a therapeutic exercise. But I thought about this question because I know I was listening to your podcast on the weekend, and I was going to recommend the nighttime ritual and routine, because I think at the moment people are really, really struggling with deep REM sleep, which is just really restorative sleep where the brain can switch off and repair itself. And so I was going to just mention that nighttime ritual. If everyone can just commit to my nighttime ritual, which is switching your social media off by 8 p.m., having some magnesium by a reputable brand just to calm down your nervous system, having a big Epsom salt bubble bath or a hot shower with lavender oil, and getting into bed without your phone. Leave your phone in your bathroom or in your cupboard, and grant yourself a peaceful, restful, restorative night's sleep. If I can just pass that on to any listeners.
I'm so inspired. I need to do that because I'm the worst. So that's the one thing that's one of the big things I'm taking away from this episode is I need to look after myself. because I'm the worst for scrolling at night. And then I say, I shouldn't do this. And I say to AJ, let's put our phones down. And then you just get back on the phone. And it's just like second nature, you know, to just
Well,
get
Britt,
your phone
I have to
out.
tell you, Dean and I have a rule where we actually leave our phones in the cupboard. Like either the cupboard or bathroom or next door room, because if it is in your bedroom, unfortunately, we're human beings. It's
You're
just
gonna
too
grab
easy.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm all for that. And how do you wake up? Do you just wake up naturally, or do you have like another alarm on your bedside table?
No, I do have an alarm set.
Yeah.
Even I don't know what it is. In LA, people start late and I'm not in my early morning routine. I think I'm still jet lagged, so I do have it. But I like to wake up. My best time is around that 7:15 zone, actually. And I just, as long as I'm at my work desk by sort of 9:30, and then because of Australian time zone, we sort of work later. But yeah, you wake up, you watch the adrenal glands be much happier when you have a restorative nighttime sleep. You'll see what I mean. You just do wake up more energized, and especially if you take those adaptogenic herbs with some magnesium with that evening routine, you'll see that your whole nervous system and adrenal glands really, really starts to feel nourished.
I'm absolutely going to be doing that. Catch me going to Priceline on the way home. Thank you so much for coming on Big Business. It's been great to chat with you. It's so awesome to just chat with other founders, because I feel like we can all relate to each other, you know, in a million different ways, even if we are in complete different industries. Where can everyone find you? I feel like everyone already knows you in JS Health, but just maybe for those that don't know, where can we find you and JS Health?
I don't know if everyone does know me, but it's at, thank you, but at JS Health is me personally, and at JS Health Vitamins is the brand, or jshealthvitamins.com.
And they can shop them in Priceline and Chemist Warehouse. There we go.
And lots of independent chemists.
Love it. Well, thank you so much, Jess. It's been great to chat and meet you officially.
Oh, so nice to meet you, Britt. We're so inspired by you, and thank you. You've really given me some points today to take to my team.
You've written them down on your little sticky note. Chuck it up on your fridge.
Oh my God, the sticky notes, a house of sticky notes. Thank you for
love it.
having me. I'm really honored that you would have me on your podcast today. Thank you.
It's been great to have you.